Welcome. So, this is going to be part three of my series on artificial intelligence and the future. So, last time we finished talking about NVIDIA and various software that could be used. Now we'll get into the physical realm, AI technology that you can physically see. So, the first thing I'll talk about is the Apple Vision Pro. Now, the Apple Vision Pro, this is not artificial intelligence by itself. However, it is technology that sort of gives us a glimpse into the future, a future that might potentially be cyberpunk or dystopian. So the Apple Vision Pro is over $3,500 at this point. So yes, very few people can actually afford it, and it looks ridiculous. However, this technology will only get better. So in 5 to 10 years, you might have glasses that are able to do all of this that are much cheaper and affordable. So this is where we get into the realm of augmented reality, and I do believe there will be a lot of gaming applications for this. So people already addicted to games, especially young men. It's only going to get worse because this technology will only make gaming even more immersive than it already is. On the plus side, there will be workplace applications for this technology, and that could, that will help certain businesses in certain fields, even the medical field. I think there will be some the good that comes out of it. But as with a lot of technology, there will be a lot of negatives associated with it. So let me just show you a video of where this technology could potentially go wrong. So you should really think about this. So once again, I'm going to show you the videos off my desktop. Okay, so just take a look at this. So as you can see, this already looks really ridiculous. Some guy's driving his Tesla. Another guy on the metro. Totally out of it. Wearing expensive $3,500 headsets.
Yeah. What?
So people are already on their phones. Now, in the future, you might have people wearing these glasses on their heads. So you have a smartphone in front of your face now. You don't even have to take it out of your pocket. It's all there. Another guy with a Cybertruck. So anyway, yeah, it looks pretty ridiculous. Now, let me just show you what it looks like inside so you understand why they're doing what they're doing. So it will get better. But right now, people do look kind of dumb wearing these things.
I want to show you guys just a little bit of what a real
Okay, so
workflow
as
might
you,
look
yeah,
like
this
for
is
the
what it
Vision
looks like
Pro.
inside.
See the Mac screen right
You can
here?
see the
By
outside
the way, full
world,
handle
but you also
inclusion,
have
which
these
looks really
screens
nice and
inside.
smooth. Messages, Slack, another Safari window right here. Keyboard
So
works
yeah, let's
just
skip a bit.
fine here. Got the messages. Ramsey showing me how
So
to cook
yeah, you
above
can
the
have
stove.
screens all over your house. You can have a
Notes
grocery
right here
list,
for some groceries.
and he's just walking around with screens.
Hey,
So this is
how's it going?
augmented reality
Hey, catch.
Thank
when
you.
you can see the world
And as we
with
walk around the
these
house,
screens
everything
added on.
stays pinned exactly
So
where we
anyway,
left it.
this is just a small glimpse into the dystopian future. What else? So you have the Apple Vision Pro. I showed you these videos. What other technology can be disruptive? Tesla. Tesla does artificial intelligence technology. You can be driverless. In the future, you might have a lot of driverless taxi services. We already have them. In San Francisco, you can actually get a taxi without a driver. And as this becomes more commonplace, it may be 5, 10 years from now, a lot of people are going to lose jobs. All the taxi drivers, all the Uber drivers are going to lose their jobs. Truck drivers who get paid quite well will also lose their jobs. And you'll just have a lot of these self-driving vehicles all on the road. And at some point, the taxi services might actually be cheaper Man, they might be so cheap you might not even want to have a car. You might end up selling your car because it doesn't make sense financially to own your own car. It's just cheaper to hire a driverless taxi. And so that's a future that might actually exist. And then so it might be kind of crazy. Some good might come out of it. You won't need all that parking space. But anyway, that's something that could happen. That's Tesla, which many of you are aware of. What else? We have Neuralink, the brain implant. This is the crazy thing. This technology is very powerful, and it could even supersede the Apple Vision Pro technology, the augmented reality, because the Neuralink puts a brain implant directly in your brain, in the back of your brain. It's already been tested on multiple animals, monkeys, pigs, other animals. And recently, just a month ago, it was tested on a human, a paralyzed person, and we haven't gotten the results yet. So we don't know whether it was a success or a failure. Um, more than likely, it was a success. That's probably what's going to happen. So let me just show you what the technology is capable of. So I'm going to show you a video from about 3 years ago of this monkey with a brain implant in the back of his brain. Wow. Okay, anyway, yeah, so it looks kind of slow. Let's see. So yeah, anyway, let's fast forward a bit. So you have this. So this monkey here has a brain implant in the back of his brain. He's able to control the cursor on the right. So he's playing Pong here. And this cursor on the right, he's able to control it with his brain. Remember, this is a 3-year-old video. So it's only better now than it was back then.
You wouldn't even know. I mean,
So the cursor on the right is being
hypothetically,
mind controlled by the monkey. You're gonna say that's crazy. How that makes
well,
no,
maybe
it's
one of
true.
these demos. In fact,
Telepathy, yes, it exists. In fact,
one
this
of these demos I
technology is
will.
going to be called telepathy. That's the new name for it.
Yeah.
To communicate with people using your mind. So the realm we're leaving the realm of science fiction. It's no longer going to be fiction. And technology similar to this has actually existed for many years now, probably close to 2 decades, actually. You've had the Utah array, you've had other technologies. It was always tested on paralyzed people, though. It was always tested on paralyzed people, and it would be very ugly and clunky. They plug it into your brain, and it would work like they were able to control a robotic arm with their brain. And like this has existed for a long time, actually. Just the Neuralink makes it more better, and it's not sticking out of your brain this time, and it's a stronger type of technology. So this is telepathy. So this monkey does not have a controller. He is moving the cursor with his mind. That is it, just his mind. So this technology at first will be used to help paralyzed people. That is what it's going to be used for. It's to help paralyzed people move cursors with their mind for computers or smartphones. And it might even allow them to move their limbs again. The electrical signals from the Neuralink could be used to transfer the signal all the way to the arms and legs, because for a paralyzed person, their brains work. Their brains do send signals to their arms and legs, but the signal never reaches the arms and legs. So the Neuralink will try to bridge that gap and allow that to happen. And it might even be used to help blind people. That Elon Musk did say that was another goal, to help blind people. So initially, this technology will be very beneficial. It will help people. And it will more than likely succeed, and it will help people. But later on, 5, 10, 20 years from now, people might want to start having these implanted in the back of their brain. Healthy people will want them implanted. And at that point, it will do other things like raise your IQ, and maybe you could download information directly to your brain. I don't know. Sounds crazy. Might be possible in 20 years. Who knows? Now, at this point, this is where it gets a little dystopian. It might get intrusive. You might wake up in the morning and have a Facebook ad in front of your face that was sent directly through the Neuralink. Your brain could be hacked. Kind of scary thought there, right? So this is where we're getting into that Ghost in the Shell territory. There's plenty of movies on this topic about a dystopian future. Obviously, we'd like to avoid that, right? But as a Christian, I've read the book of Revelation. I have the future. And if you've read the book of Revelation and you believe the Bible and you are a Christian, then you're going to have questions. You're going to start asking about things like, is this the mark of the beast? 666. You might have questions. Now, the Neuralink is not the mark of the beast, but it could be a precursor to a technology in the future that is the mark of the beast. And the mark of the beast will be implanted in the front of the head. It'll be right on the head, or in on the right hand. Now that would be a future. That's in the future. We not right now. Right now we don't have the mark of the beast, but this Neuralink is giving you a glimpse of what could be in the future. Anyway, so we have that. So I already showed you the monkey. Okay, now I think this is the last thing I wanted to cover, and that is Boston Dynamics. So you might not have heard about them, but Boston Dynamics is a company that builds robots. So they have this really expensive robot that's $75,000, and it does some really cool things. So I'd like to show you a video where it does stuff. There's also another Chinese company called Unitree where they did create a robot, human, and a dog. These are much cheaper, especially the dog. I think it's only like $1,600, which is still really expensive, but it's cheap enough to where people have actually bought them. And in fact, a police force somewhere, I forget where, actually bought one of these robot dogs to use it as a sentry. It can't sense stuff like it doesn't have a sense of smell, but it could detect things. And these things could be used to work in factories. You could have robots working in factories. So this is where the blue collar jobs start becoming replaced. So if you have an unskilled blue collar job, this is where your job starts to be kind of it becomes shaky. If you work in fast food, for example, this type of stuff could replace you in about 5 years or so. And another question, could we have Terminator by 2030? Kind of a scary thought. And are you safe? If this technology gets better, these robots could become dangerous. So let me show you a video of what it's capable of last year. So this is a video from 1 year ago. So is it loading? Yeah, okay, it's loading. It's just slow, as usual. So this is the Boston Dynamics robot. I'm going to play the whole video for you because it is very...
I forgot my tools again.
Very important. So yeah, this video has been around for a while, but if you haven't been up to date with this stuff, you haven't been watching it, you might be watching it for the first time. So just pay attention here. So notice the movements, the agility, the flexibility of the robot. I mean, it's almost human-like movement. You would almost think a human was inside, but no, there's no human inside. It's all 100% robot. Okay. So yeah, some of the movements might seem kind of weird, but it's functional. Anyway, so as you can see, that's pretty crazy. It's very agile. It could do a lot of cool stuff. So this is from a year ago. It's only going to get better. By 2030, easily, we could have a dangerous robot. By 2030, okay, maybe 2035, we could have something like Terminator. Could have a robot police force. Could potentially get a little creepy here, right? So... now there's other stuff like Unitree, but there isn't really much to show from these videos. They don't really add much to the Boston Dynamics, so I think I'll just end it. I'll be on the conclusion here. So there's a lot to think about in the future. The future is very unpredictable. I mean, ever since COVID in 2020, every year has been very unpredictable. We really don't know what's next. You had COVID, then you had the war in Ukraine, then you have the war in Israel. Now we're worried about World War III. And right now, and then we have an important election coming up later this year. And in the background of all of that, you have this artificial intelligence stuff that most people have no clue is going on right now. People uh, in like in 5 years, you won't be able to hide from it. It will be here to stay. So the future, 5, 10 years from now, you might not be you might not be able to recognize it. So you want to prepare for the future. You want to be aware this stuff's going on, and especially if you're younger and you're preparing for a career, you want to keep this stuff in mind. You might need to use AI for your job, very likely, unless you want to go the blue collar route. Um, if you want to stay away from this stuff, from the AI, you don't want to mess with computers and all of that. Your best chances are probably to get a skilled blue collar job, or a job where you have to communicate a lot with other humans. Those jobs, you're less likely to be replaced. Um, so either do like a blue collar thing where you're like skilled, where you're far away from the computers, or if you have to use a computer, you're going to have to embrace AI. You're going to have to use this technology, and you're going to have to learn it well. You're also going to have to learn about AI safety in the future, because you're going to have a hard time differentiating the truth from the lies. It'll be even harder in the future to differentiate those two things, because this technology will be easily abused. Easily. I mean, people already get scammed all the time, and we don't even have the AI technology yet. It's only going to get worse. So there's a lot of negatives. What are the positives? Well, in the best case scenario, I'm not getting my hopes up, but in the best case scenario, it'll be a utopia, and we'll have universal basic income, and you won't have to work, and it'll be nice, and the government will actually give us money, and yeah, maybe. I'm not getting my hopes up. Some people still want to work. Okay, fine, you can work. It's just the problem is, what kind of job are you going to do when you've been replaced by a robot? Why would they hire you over a robot? A robot that can work 24/7, doesn't complain, doesn't need health insurance, and once they've put in the initial cost, they've paid it off. In the long term, the robot's cheaper than you, and the robot's not going to complain. The robot's going to be more efficient, work 24/7. Why would they choose you over a robot? That's a good question to ask. So it's not a question of people being lazy and they don't want to work. That's why we have UBI. No, it's a necessity. We just don't have a choice. You take UBI, you take your money, and you just accept it, because there's no reason for you to work. Nobody wants you. Nobody wants to hire you. So unless you start your own company, that's it. That's literally the only thing you'll be able to do in the future, is start your own company and be an entrepreneur, because there's no reason to hire anybody, because you could just there's really no reason, because the AI technology can handle everything. Now, of course, that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is a few people control this technology, and it's hell for everybody else. So, as much as I would like the utopia, it might start off as a utopia, but remember, we have the Book of Revelation. We know the future. The future's written. Because I know about the Book of Revelation, I know the future. I know Jesus is going to come back. I know all of this. Because of that, I know that eventually it will be a dystopia. Initially, it might be good. It might be utopia, but it will turn into a dystopia eventually. And I know that because I have the Book of Revelation in front of me. I can prophesy the future. So many are concerned and they're worried. And yes, they have a right to be so. Some people are excited about the future. But anyway, just keep your wits about you. Get your head in the Bible. Stay close to God. That's the best advice I can give you. God is in control of all of this. But you have to stay close to God. If you do not stay close to God, you will fall for Satan's deception. Satan is already deceiving people. He will continue to deceive people even more during these next few years and into the future. So stay close to God. Stay close to the book, the Bible, and pray. Because if you don't, you will be swept away with all this stuff. You will fall for deception. So trust in the true God. Do not trust in the digital God of the future, the artificial superintelligence that we might have one day that's going to rule over us. Trust in the true God, not the false digital God that is actually Satan. So anyway, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I'll see you next time.